Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Sonic Heroes for the Nintendo GameCube. Last time we went through Rail Canyon and a rather embarrassing run through in Bullet Station with Team Dark's extra missions, but now it's time for the two big boys. These missions can go on for quite some time. We begin with Frog Forest. The enemies are rare, they're very spread out. I mean, there are sections where you gotta try and decide, do you take the upper road or the lower road? You can't exactly take both without taking too long. These missions can go on for well over 13 minutes. I believe the A rank time for Lost Jungle was 13.5 minutes. Or 13, something like that, which I believe is the highest A rank of all of them. See, I think it might be tied at Egg Fleet. But I don't find Egg Fleet to be as bad. At the very least, you're not doing the same thing 2 times in a row. Guys, thank you. Boy, this level is green. But there's not hills, and therefore this is not Green Hill Zone. It's Mushroom Hill Zone. Which was Green Hill Zone with trees. Come on, Froggy. That's what it is. We've seen Froggy. It's clearly the same thing, just bigger. That's not even racist to frogs. It's literally just a fact. This part's annoying. Oh, that is why I don't like a Mega. And he clearly finished attacking there. I don't know why. I don't know how I survived that. I hate these guys. Yeah, take that. Yeah, I've got to watch out for that. That attack's going to keep going until they actually get launched in the air. I have been hit by that whilst doing the tornado attack before. Again, Shadow, did you not hear what she just said? I mean, yeah, we know the frog's here, but do we actually know that that was what the frog was going to cause? I don't think we knew that that vegetation was going to grow. It grows incredibly fast, but there seems to be a limit on how far it will grow. So I didn't go to power formation there. So we're almost halfway through the level and we haven't even reached a fifth of the total enemies yet. You're pretty much going to be doing these levels almost 2 times. Like almost the entire thing twice. Which is particularly annoying for Lost Jungle, because you have to do the alligator section. Which is just wasting time, because you're not going to get anything there. Which is just one of the reasons on why Lost Jungles one can go on for so long. And the alligator section is a good 40 seconds long. I don't know, I'll time it. See how long it takes us. I jumped off at the wrong point there, but thankfully I can still make it. Just. What could possibly go wrong? I really should be destroying the gold ones. The gold ones were still, just like with your score, they still count. Any robots destroyed when you destroy the gold ones still count. Right. I'm not sure which pathway has more enemies. So I'm going to take the lower road. I mean, this is where all the enemies here are anyway, so... How did I not get hit by that? And I actually damaged him in a speed formation at level 2. How did I do that? Okay, and the robot just imploded in the air. Don't know how it did that. Yeah, There was no apostrophe on wins. That happens a lot in this game. They miss out apostrophes. Somebody's never heard of the apostrophe. So yeah, this is where you kind of... So, it's a bit confusing on where you actually want to go, which way has the most enemies. And overall, it's kind of hard to decide. Don't know why I did that. I'm not sure if you can risk him falling off the edge. If he can act like Shadow. Shadow loves edges. He loves the edge. Shadow adores the edge. There's not as many enemies down here as I was hoping for. Time wasting. Frog's not there anyway. But it doesn't matter because I still have to take the bottom path. I think only once I've ever gone through the other two loops. In fact, I think that was on the playthrough I did before this, so I was curious to see what was there. And I often wondered, I just never really thought about it until after going through the loop. I was like, oh yeah, what's in the other two? It turns out one is speed shoes, the other I think is just rings. It was either that or a shield, I can't remember. I mean, it makes sense. It's not like you can really get much use out of the invincibility at this point. You're not really... The invincibility is going to run out. Look at that. Final enemies. Our count is 51. I did take a few of the wrong paths, but our count is 51 and we're through the entire level. We have to do the entire level again to get enough enemies. That is just how... We're already 6 minutes into the level. That is how long these levels can take. Or at the very least, as long as I don't die, I can stay leveled up. But these levels just go on way too long. But at the very least, since you are leveled up, you should be, as long as you don't die, you'll be able to get through the levels faster. I don't think resetting the level counts as a checkpoint though. I think it will just take you back to the last checkpoint you touched. I don't know if Adventure 2 did that, but I rarely ever needed to do that in Adventure 2 except for some of the treasure hunting levels, which don't have checkpoints. I mean, the emeralds themselves, or whatever it was you're collecting, were the checkpoints. But you didn't need, there were no emeralds or anything like that in those levels. They were just 100 ring levels. I mean, it is also there for some of the Chow missions, and for all the 100 ring missions really. But that game was a lot easier to get. Yeah, in those levels, getting 100 rings is pretty easy. Apart from some of the mech shooting levels, they were a nightmare. It was generally just the treasure hunting levels where it was annoying. Unless you decide to just dig everywhere and see what you get, which, you know, works. It can work. So there's no reason you can't do that. But they also did bring that concept back in this game. Because that's what Team Rose's extra missions are, and you're collecting 200 rings. Thankfully, because Team Rose don't have that many enemies, they're really not that hard. You know, even though you do have to do no damage runs. You know, there's plenty of shields around. You use a Team Blast when you get it. You get a shield for that as well, so you get the extra hit. But there's so few enemies for Team Rose, it really doesn't matter. And these still aren't the worst extra missions. Team Chaos 6's extra missions can take so much longer, especially when you don't know where everything is. There's no level reset for that. You have to find all 20 hermit crabs. You have to find all 20 chow. You have to find all 10 keys in Final Fortress. So that one, that's probably the longest mission in the game. That one goes on forever. And yet still not my least favourite, because that is still Mystic Mansion. Even worse than the regular mission. That was already a horrible mission. And you have to get all 46 torches. It may not be as many, but they're a lot more complicated to get to. Come on, platform. Okay. Can I get him in one go? Oh, I still did. Right, what I'm going to try and do is kill this guy. Jump on this ivy. And when it reaches the highest point... Yeah, I just missed it that side. Still missed. Needs to be right at the highest point. By the power of Thundershoot, we can get up there. So there was an easier way, but it would have cost us the enemies. Unfortunately, that is also a time waster. But that's actually how you get there for Team Chaos 6. It's the only way of getting up there. This is a level you can extend with Team Rose, so I don't know if that's how you get up there. There's another way, so I believe Team Rose ends on the platform before it, right? Where that first gold robot was. So whether or not Team Rose can actually still get up there with ease is something I don't know. Yeah, this is the pathway I should have gone. 4 enemies. I can go down here and get even more. This is what I should have done. And it doesn't improve that much, but it improves a bit. I mean, that's about 4 extra enemies. So, you know, taking both ways makes a difference. So that's 8 enemies. But I forgot to take the path that time, which means I only got 4 extra enemies instead of 8. But again, this is the level twice in a row. Even if the second run can be done faster, it's the same level. But there we go. It's done. And that was the shorter one. The next one's even longer. 11 minutes, 53 seconds is an A rank. Like that should not be an A rank, but it is. Because of how long these missions take. But now it's time for my least favourite of Team Dark's extra missions, Lost Jungle. It's often just, a lot of it is just because, that's the same issue we just had. We're doing this level almost twice. And we have to waste time with the alligator section. Which means that if you die on the alligator section, you gotta do it again. So this mission just drags on for way too long. Especially now that we have to start fighting quite a lot of these guys. And they only count as one, because, you know, it's just one. I'm hurting Bubsy, it's okay. I can take my frustration out on Bubsy. Bomb. The bomb can still hurt you when it's not exploded yet. What kind of bomb is that? Can't see where I'm landing. Okay.
Here they come.
Why does that not count as hurting it? I don't get that. Yeah, I wouldn't bother with fire dunking them because you just have to wait for your teammates to get back up. You know, even if you do just use the triangle dive to bring them back to you, it still takes longer even though it's double damage. That's really not the best time to use that, really. Oh. Normally my teammates are high enough to reach that. Because they do go a bit higher than you do. I think if you let them walk close enough to each other, it is possible to get both of these guys in one team blast, but I'm not exactly sure on that. So at least I didn't waste time attacking him by the power of team blasts and chaos control. Up here. This is the problem with these pathways like this. Is usually if there are enemies, which there's not very many of, there's usually just one. I really wish the save button wasn't so loud. And still quieter than a PS4 controller. That thing is loud. Well, I discovered whilst playing the Insane Trilogy. That thing is loud. I mean, I never really paid attention to how loud it was before, but I just noticed it then. When playing other stuff on the PS4. No, I want to take the bottom path. Right. I don't know if I showed this off or not. This is how you do this in the PS2 version. You still jump even though that does kick in automatically. And that's how you do it. And that is how you avoid death from the PS2 version, because you will clip through those springs. Not that one though, that spring always works. So far. It's weird how they still quote what they would do if the frog actually started croaking. Even though that didn't happen. So look at Mega. Go up here, because there's enemies up here if you can. Come on guys. So the annoying thing, when Rouge bounces back like that, it still lowers the flight gauge. That was a great view of Omega's leg there. Omega does not skip leg day. Actually, I think he does, because his legs are a lot smaller than everything else, and he's a robot. Right, his legs are rather small for what they have to carry. Because I would imagine Omega's... Well, I don't know. Rouge seems to be able to carry him just fine. You'd think he'd weigh more than Big. Then again, Cream can carry Big just fine. So... I don't know. Clearly stopped attacking them a considerable amount of time before that. Let's try that again, but this time around the flower. There's no enemies down here, so don't bother. But you can jump off the flower. It's supposed to launch you into that thing, which it does, but I find it doesn't really work. Again, maybe it's a PS2 thing, but I just find it doesn't work. If we go anywhere, take off the enemies at the sides. A lot of enemies there. I'm not going to take the middle path because this is where the enemies are. There's, I think, a couple more. Yeah, there's one more. Can't remember if there's another one on the other side that you can't reach. There is indeed. I never go that way. I'll take out the enemies and then go the other way because you have to whenever you when you homing attack onto a wide spring, you stay in your ball shape, so you still have your full. You can do another homing attack or whatever ability that your formation you're in. But if it's a single spring, it just sends you straight up, and all you can do is land. You can't do anything else for some reason. You exit your ball form. And what that pathway will do is it will send your homing attack along a trail of enemies, and then there'll be one of those single springs, meaning you then have to try and manually land on a fruit to bounce you back up. Instead of but with no way of homing attacking it. Right. So again, cheap robot there, so let's go this way. And it's still kind of cheap because you still can't really see it. Attack the enemies over there without that happening. The enemies are clearly clipping through each other. And look at that. 58 enemies. And that's it. Thank you for not clipping through the ground this time. Let's see how long this takes. It won't take... unless that sort of thing happens, where I click through the spring instead. Alright. For about 10 seconds. And that is why I hate that part. That's why I hate this part. That's why I hate this part. Where's the ivy gone? Okay, admittedly that one was my fault. I did swing off of that ivy a bit too early. But I don't know where the next one was. Right, it's annoying. Okay, there we go. We're just supposed to land on the ivy. Why are they not landing on it? Guys, land on the ivy. Thank you. Jesus Christ. What the hell was going on there? So you have to land dead center in it for some reason. And that's exactly what I was doing, but it still wasn't working. Right, can we do this with less clipping this time? The spring is here. There we go. Let's try not to let go of one of these things too early. What I probably should have done is actually flown backwards and try and hit that spring. Okay, yeah, those ivies are pretty far apart. I can see why I didn't make it. Sometimes they're really close, sometimes they're really far apart. In fact, I'm surprised I was even able to fly. Usually it takes a while before I can actually move. Thankfully the timer does stop when that happens. And I gotta do this again without any level ups. I'm exactly like how I was back at the beginning of the level. The beginning of the mission, since it is the beginning of the level. Nothing's changed this time. This isn't like Block Forest. But again, I have to do... Yeah, I don't have to do the alligator part again, but I still have to do almost the entire level twice. And it takes just as long as Frog Forest did. I'm bored of these levels now. I was well aware that this was going to be pretty much the longest part for Team Dark's extra missions. Some of Team Chaotix will probably go on longer, but for Team Dark, yeah, this was easily going to be the longest one. Exactly which one will be the longest for Team Chaotix, I'm not sure, because a lot of the longer ones for Team Chaotix are the second act of each zone. And the first one is usually pretty short. I would imagine that the castle levels will probably be the longest, since Hang Castle isn't exactly that short either. It should be shorter since you have to do it without being seen by the enemies. So it should be a little bit shorter than the regular mission. But other than that, I don't know. Maybe Rail Canyon and Bullet Station. Well, Rail Canyon is a super hard level. Yeah, that one will take forever to record, but it won't take as long to actually watch in the video, because that mission is hard. The Bullet Station can take a while. But I don't think anything is on the level of Mystic Mansion. Except Final Fortunes. not sure because Egg Fleet isn't that long of a level. And that one is a time attack, so maybe that mission won't take too long. It's hard to tell since you are technically doing the level twice. But you're not doing the entire level twice. Shadow, you were clearly of equal numbers there. You certainly weren't outnumbered. There's 3 of them and there's 3 of you. Team Dark, not the Shadow Angle. Why am I doing this the hard way? If that is the hard way, I'm not exactly sure. Does that mean that I don't have a Team Blast? But yeah, I should be able to have my Team Blast ready by the time I get to that cave. I can't remember if I used the Team Blast in the previous one or not now. Okay, it might not quite be full. It doesn't matter. I'll get the Mega to level 2 at least. Unless one of you guys is feeling friendly to your fellow robots. Nope, because it had a power core around them. I can never tell if the enemies, if there's always like a particular enemy that gives you a power core, if it's just random when you get them, or if there's a set enemy in a particular enemy in a set of them. Because there are some enemy types that always give you power cores. The Egg Hammers always do, as the heavy versions. Both of the E2000Rs always give you power cores. Everything else I can never tell. Right, are there power cores for robots in set locations, but the robot itself is random? Is it always the same robot? I just never know. Like, the power cores are random, but I can never be sure exactly which enemies. But I think that's it. Yes. Frog Forest actually took longer. I'm surprised. But I believe it's either 13 or 13.5 minutes. It's the A rank for that one. We'll see it on the loading screen beforehand. But I think that's the worst one. Because I'm looking at the thing now, we're about 28 minutes in. And this is an unedited part. Like, I'm leaving in the death and everything because I'm still defeating the enemies that I've already defeated before. So this is probably going to be the longest one. For Team Dark anyway. Hopefully things won't take quite as long next time as we enter Hand Castle and Mystic Mansion. I will see you guys